Hi there, and welcome to another online workshop for Drupal 7 here at Cal Poly. Buckle your seatbelts because in this video we're going to tackle sections. This is a powerful tool that can give you a lot of control over what your users can access and can be implemented in tons of different ways. The examples in this diagram show a few different ways that we can use sections to let users control their own areas of the site. This effectively delegates a lot of the work involved in managing and updating content that would otherwise be performed by someone like the site administrator. And as a result, a site set up with good sections can efficiently manage a far greater amount of content. Say, for example, that your faculty all want personal control over their profile pages, but the site administrator does not have time to deal with every tiny update request from every individual faculty member. With sections, you can grant each faculty member access to their own profiles. Any other group you can think of that wants control over their own content on your site is a great candidate for sections. In our examples, we also used an institute and a club. Now that you have a basic idea of what we can accomplish with sections and where we're headed, I'm going to take a step back. We're going to dig into how sections actually work, how you can actually set these up on your site, and how they relate to each other. To start off, I'm going to define sections for you. A section is a box. You can put content or even other sections into this box. Then, you can assign any authors or contributors on your site to a section, which will grant them access to that particular box. They can then access anything that's inside of the box. And if you put another section inside of that box, they can access that as well. They can even add more content to the box. In the diagram here, you can see this site. As the name implies, that is your website. However, it is also a section. It is the top-level section in the hierarchy, and it will encompass everything on your site. You should also take notice of the users that we have assigned to this section: our site administrator and an advanced author. This is important because all site administrators and all advanced authors are automatically assigned to this site, so by default, any user given one of those roles can access the entire site. I've laid out the other sections in boxes with yellow headers. The users assigned to each section are indicated in white italics. The white rectangles that have been placed inside of various sections represent the pages on your website. Let's take a look at the club section real quick and examine how sections is managing user access. The club president is assigned to the club section. As a result, he can access anything inside of it. That includes not only pages inside of the club section, but also any subsections. That means he has access to the club homepage, the member list, the officer list, the calendar, and the contact page. However, if we look at the club coordinator, she has only been assigned to the calendar section. So she can access the calendar page, as it is inside of the section that she was assigned to, but she cannot access the club homepage, or any of the pages inside the members section, or the contact info section. I know that this concept can be a little hard to follow, so if you're struggling, stay with me. What we're going to do now is start building this in Drupal, which should help you tie these abstract ideas to the system itself, to something more tangible. We're going to start off with the club section. We're going to take 3 steps here. First, we're going to build the sections themselves in our Drupal site. Then, we're going to assign users to their appropriate sections. Finally, we're going to assign any existing content that belongs in one of these sections to the correct section. Sections themselves are set up through the taxonomy tool. So, if we go to our Drupal website, we'll click on Structure and then Taxonomy. This site, like I mentioned before, is where our sections will go. So we'll click on List Terms to show all of the sections that are currently on our site. At the moment, we don't have any, so we'll click on Add Term to start building sections. We're going to start off with the top level section of the clubs area of our site, which is just called Club. The description is for internal purposes and helps you keep track of what the section is designed for, or what's kept inside of it. In this case, I think club is explanation enough, so I'm actually going to leave the description blank. Once that's done, I just scroll down to the bottom of the page and click Save. I know that the section has been created because of the confirmation message here. Just to show you real quick, I'm going to use the breadcrumb up here to hop back to the list terms view by clicking this site. And you can see that the club section we just created now appears. I'm going to click Add Term again to make the remaining sections. I need one called Members, one called Calendar, and one called Contact Info. Now that all of the sections have been created, we need to organize them. If we refer back to our diagram real quick, we can see that Club is the top level section of this area, and then Members, Calendar, and Contact Info are all on the same level within the Club section. You can organize your sections by clicking on the little arrow symbol to the left of the section. I want Club at the top, and I need Calendar, Contact Info, and Members all nested inside of the Club section. I'll click Save to commit my changes, and we're good to go. The sections are all set up. Next, we need to add our users. Now, I've already added all of the accounts and given them either the author or the contributor role necessary to work with sections. All we need to do now is assign them to their correct section. To do that, I need to click on Configuration, and then scroll down and click on Workbench Access near the lower right of this page. I can see a list of all of my sections here. If I want to change who is assigned to that section, I can click on the number of editors to the right of the section I want to change. Let's start off with the Club section. If we check the diagram real quick, we can see the only assigned user for the Club section is the Club President. I can assign him to this section by typing his username into the Add Editor field. Once I've typed in that name, I can just click on Update Editors, and there he is. If I ever wanted to remove him, I could click on the Remove checkbox right here and then Update Editors as well. I'm going to navigate back to the Workbench Access using the breadcrumbs so I can see the list of my sections again, and then I'll go ahead and do the remaining 3 sections real quick. Now I've added all of the users based on the diagram to their appropriate sections. The Club President was assigned to the Club section, the Secretary and Treasurer were assigned to the Members section, the Coordinator was assigned to the Calendar, and the Club Vice President was assigned to the Contact Info section. The last step is to take a look at adding content to the section. Now, we could either be adding existing content to the section, or we could be creating new content and assigning it to the correct section. First, let's take a look at adding a new page. Let's just say, for example, that we want to create the Club homepage. I'll title this real quick, and then scroll down where I can see the section field. Normally, all you would see is this site, but since we've added additional sections, you can now see all of them in this scroll down box. Club, Calendar, Contact Info, and Members. By quickly referencing our diagram here, I can see that the Club homepage belongs inside of the Club section. So I'll go ahead and select that section, and then save the page. That's all it takes. That brand new page has now been created and assigned to the appropriate section. If I want to move existing content into a section, I could edit the page, and using the same interface that you see when you're creating a page, I could change the section and then save the page. However, I can also click on Content up here in the top menu, and then click the checkbox next to whatever page it is that I want to assign a section to. Using the Update options, I can select the section that it should be assigned to. The Club Contact page, according to my diagram, is supposed to go in the Contact Info section. So let's select the Contact Info section and then hit Update. The confirmation message that says editorial sections have been updated lets me know that I have successfully assigned a section to that page. I'll assign the Club Calendar real quick, as well as the officer and member list. Unfortunately, this content page doesn't show you what section any of your content is currently assigned to. However, if we click on Find Content in the gray menu up here at the top, we get a slightly different view of our content that actually does include section as one of the columns. You can see all of the pages that we just created here that are assigned to their correct sections. That's it for sections here today. The same concepts that we covered here can be applied to create the faculty or the institute sections that we're using as examples in this diagram. So if you're feeling up to it, you can go ahead and give this a try. But if you're not quite there yet, stay tuned. I'll be walking you through how to replicate the remaining sections in the next video. Thanks for watching.